What is up, guys? It is Simba here, and welcome back to another league racing video on F1 22. And today, this is round 5 for the Miami Grand Prix, and as you can see in the background, we've got some supercars content just to make. Yeah, I'm a bit late to the supercars content. I mean, no one really cares about these cars anymore, but we might as well show it off because we are racing in Miami today for the first time. But about the previous race, it was in Imola. It was a sprint weekend. It was quite a scruffy one, a quite eventful one as well. So go check it out if you haven't seen that already. But today is our first league race around Miami, and we're going to see if we can continue our form from the last race as we get into qualifying. So here we go then, for qualifying here in the Miami Grand Prix. We are rocking the Miami helmet given to us by the game. And here we go, for our first run of the session. As you can see, we completely missed turn 1. So that is something that we're going to have to work on in the next lap. And this is a short qualifying session, so 18 minutes long, because there was only 15 of us racing here today, which is a bit of a shame. So, but yeah, it is what it is. You know, we press on, and we're going to see if we can compete at the front once again as we go a little bit wide, as the end of the first sector, LP Smoke has crashed.
Smoke is dead. My first sector was absolutely horrendous as well.
So you can hear me say there, my first sector was pretty bad. It was a 30.6, and I can go a hell of a lot quicker than that. But as we come towards the end of the lap now, what is it going to be as we cross the line to 27.6? And I was actually quite happy with that, considering the first sector was so poor. We find ourselves down in P2. We're not on pole right now, but we're going to see if we can reclaim top spot in qualifying as we go for our best lap of the session around Miami.
Come on, Aston, move. God's sake.
Seconds left in the session.
So here we go, coming out of the final corner. We have lost a little bit of time on the Delta, but we're going to see where we end up as we cross the line. We stay in P2 for the time being with a 27.3, 2.5 tenths off Levy King. But at the end of the session, SLR Quattro is the man on pole position with a 27.0. And he's just 400s ahead. And for us, it is P3, so it is our personal best so far this season. And it was exactly our personal best from last season as well. So qualifying is improving. But yeah, we could have done a little bit better. But I don't think we would have made too much of an impact on our position, as we're going to start on the hard tyre. I was debating this with my chat on Twitch, but we're going to go with the hard and go to the mediums at the end of the race. So here we go then. At the end of the formation lap, it was in broadcast instead of immersive, but we move. You could hear me doing my pre-race clap and the clear of the throat as well, as we're getting ready for round 5 of the season in the Miami Grand Prix for the first time. How will we do today? We're going to find out as the lights are out and we are underway for the first time since the first day of the game as we get a pre-S start. Van Dorn has got passes and the Vogue replay has hit Quattro into turn 1. We have to go off the track and we get back ahead of the McLaren. The Vogue replay is up in a P2, but he's punted off the pole sitter and Levy King has ran off as we let Van Dorn back through as these hard tyres are not in the right temperature still. It's going to take a while to heat them up, but the main thing is SLR Quattro has found himself at the back of the field.
I never thought I'd have to use a lobby's tactic to get through turn 1 around here.
As you can hear me say, I didn't think I had to use a lobby's tactic, and what I mean by that is if you played open lobbies on this track, normally there is a collision at turn 1 and you have to go off the track in order to avoid all the chaos. As you can see here, we're having a go at a Vogue replay. We're going to see if we can immediately pass the Williams, who is a reserve driver in this league. We're going to see if we can pass him, but we just decided to back out of it. You know, it's the first lap. There's absolutely no point taking unnecessary risks. And the main thing is, we just need to pass him, and we can set after Van Dorn as well. As we cut to lap 2, we're still in P4. We've only lost 1 place, despite starting on the hard tyre. And most people were starting on the hards, but Levy King has checked out on the medium, so that's going to be important towards the halfway point of this race. As we come through this Mickey Mouse section, we make a little bit of contact and a Vogue replay has been spun round.
Yeah, not ideal.
Lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button.
Yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to do there. My man was crawling through the Mickey Mouse section, but I'll probably get reported for it.
And there you go, we've had a bit of a collision with the Vogue replay. You can hear me say in the background, I think I might get reported for it, because at the time of streaming this, my confidence in racecraft wasn't as high as it was before due to the whole IMLA shenanigans. But I can tell you now, we don't get reported for it. It was a racing incident pretty much. There wasn't much I could do, and now we're going to focus on seeing if we can catch up to SLR Van Dorn in front of us.
Riggsy's got a penalty already.
And also, yeah, Riggsy has got a penalty behind us as well. So, and it's only lap 5. So, yeah, a bit of a warning shot from the Red Bull driver. We need to be careful that we do not exceed track limits. It's very easy to get a penalty, especially at the Mickey Mouse section, as we set a 31.3 as our new personal best. And we're going to see if we can catch up to Van Dorn. But unfortunately, we're not quite in his DRS range. And Riggsy is still staying behind us. He's still with us here. And he's got the DRS and he's going to easily make the move. We're not going to fight him because there's absolutely no point, because we're on the same strategy. And there you go, he gets in front of us as we go through the last corner. And you can hear my engineer, Mark Priestley, saying that, you know, we can still get the position back, but right now the priority is keeping up with the McLaren on the faster tyre and just, yeah, maintaining the battery, maintaining the tyres. So that is the plan right now. As we cut to lap 7, we get I think that was our first warning of the race. I'm not too sure, because I can't remember when I got a second one. I can tell you now, we did get 2 warnings in this race, but I can't remember precisely when I got it. So, sorry about that. But as we skip to lap 7, SLR Van Dorn also has a 3-second time penalty, as, yeah, we're still just sitting behind Riggsy for the time being in P4. As you can see, Van Dorn struggling through the last corner, as the McLaren driver is struggling for pace compared to the Aston Martin out in front, which is still Levy King. As we start lap 8, we're still behind Riggsy. We set a 31.5, just 2 tenths off our personal best, despite being in a potential DRS train. So pace is okay, but we're not really utilising it right now because we don't have clean air in front of us. As Riggsy makes a mistake out of the last corner, and we're going to try and absolutely take advantage of this with using DRS and overtake. And we are back up into 3rd place in this Miami Grand Prix. And the goal now is to make sure that we can push as much as we can at this stage of the race. As the Vogue replay retires in the pits, he's had an absolute shocker here, and it was very unfortunate. I think he got a penalty after that, but yeah, we're going to keep on pushing and see if we can take advantage, because now this is the stage where the hard tyres will be starting to become the quicker tyre at this stage of the race. We skip to lap 11. SLR Van Dorn is right in front of us, and we've got into his DRS range. So now we're going to try and size up a move and pass the McLaren, as Levy King is 6 seconds out in front. As you can see, Van Dorn makes a mistake through that section, and he's looking very vulnerable, and this is our best chance.
Right, Right, he's vulnerable. Let's go.
And you can hear me say there, he's vulnerable. Let's get him, as we're going to use the DRS to overtake our former teammate from last season. And this should be a very easy move. And it is round the outside on the straight. And we'll have the racing line going into this hairpin. And it has taken a little longer than I would have liked. But the reality is, we are now finally up into P2 in this Miami Grand Prix. But the only problem is, Levy King is 6 seconds up the road. And it's going to be quite a task to catch up with him, as we've already pulled 8/10 on SLR Van Dorn. So that's how much we were losing time behind the McLaren and behind Riggsy. As you can see, I'm asking the engineer what the fastest lap was
we got
at the time, and it was a 31.2, I think it was. So we're not actually far off the pace from the fastest lap. So our pace was actually really strong on the hard tyre, but now we've got clean air, and this is our chance to utilise it. But we set a 31.7, nearly half a second off our personal best, but that's fine. We just need to keep pushing as Levy King pits on lap 13 for the hard compound tyres. Van Dorn pitted a lap earlier, and he's down in 5th place. SLR Quattro, on the other hand, is up into P4, and he's only 5 seconds behind. So Quattro can play a really, really big part at the end of this race. He's still got a good chance to get a podium here. As we skip to lap 15, we set a 31.6 as we've got a 4/10 gap to Riggsy, who has another time penalty. So he's got 6 seconds of penalties, and we're going to make sure that we don't get another warning, because if we do, that is a 3-second time penalty on our head. As Riggsy makes a mistake through turn 3, I believe, and we managed to bridge out a gap of 2 seconds. I asked my chat what happened, but thankfully someone told me just to keep pushing, and that's exactly what we're doing. As we cut to lap 16 now, this is the lap where we are going to pit. We set a personal best in the first sector, and as we come through the middle sector, it's another personal best. Right, so the pace is looking really strong.
It's been a very good in lap so far.
As you can hear me in the background saying that we're going to box this lap. It's been a very good in lap, setting personal best at the personal best, as the gap is 12 seconds to Levy King. We've managed to maintain it. We haven't lost too much time, but yeah, it is what it is. We're going to box on lap 16 for the medium tyres. We're going to avoid an undercut from Riggsy and Quattro. And as you can see here, we're in broadcast mode, for goodness sake. So we can't do this pit stop by ourselves. So we're just praying. You can hear in the background, we're just praying that we have a good pit stop here. So we don't lose too much time, as pit stops are so crucial in league racing now this year. As we get out of the pits, it's a 2.6 second stop, thankfully. So it's about 4/10 slower than what we would have normally had if we got the perfect timing on the pit stop, but it could be worse as we come out of the pits. And you're about to hear me say here, we're ahead of Van Dorn.
There we go.
And
ahead of Van Dorn.
We are 2.5 seconds ahead of the McLaren who pitted earlier in the race. So we've managed to successfully overcut Van Dorn, and now we can focus on pushing as much as we can on the medium tyres to the end of the race. But the gap is now 7 seconds to Levy King. So let's see what we can do in the next 12 laps. So we're going to push as much as we can in the final 12 laps. As we skip to the end of lap 18, we have put in a purple and a middle sector. So the pace is looking really good as we set the fastest lap of the race.
Fastest lap, see.
And you can hear me being very happy with that as we crack out another see. As the pace is looking really strong, and the gap is down to 5 seconds. As we cut to the end of the next lap, we set a 30.3. As our engineer reminds us that we need to look after the tyres and make sure we get to the end of the race.
We've caught a lot of time, but I'm not sure we'll get him.
So as we skip to lap 20, you can see the gap is coming down. It's 4 seconds, but you heard me say there, we are gaining a lot of time as the mediums are a lot quicker at this stage of the race. But I'm not sure if we're going to be able to catch him by the end of the race, as Riggsy pits for a set of soft tyres on lap 20. So he's going to be really quick towards the end of the race, but I think he's lost so much time staying out that I don't think he'll be able to claw the time back. But as we skip to lap 22, the gap is 2.4 seconds to the Aston Martin, and we are definitely feeling like now we could definitely go on to catch him, but we lose the rear end at the exit of the Mickey Mouse section.
Just a little bit loose on the rear.
You can hear me being slightly annoyed at that mistake, as we've lost at least 3.5 tenths from that mistake alone. As yeah, we need to make sure we're catching him lap after lap and just keep pushing, because the advantage will eventually swing back to Levy King, as the hard tyres are the better race tyre in this race. We set at 30.5 despite making that error. As we cut to the end of lap 24, we keep pushing, and the gap is just over 2 seconds as we set a 30.7. So it wasn't the best lap, but we're still giving it everything in this race, as Quattro is just 4 seconds behind us. But we don't care about the Ferrari behind us. We care about the Aston Martin right in front of us, and we're pushing with everything we have, as we are got absolutely no ERS left, as the gap is now 1.8 seconds, and we're just chucking it in this first sector, and it reeks of desperation. As you can see, that is an awful line, but we have to keep pressing on. As we cut to the end of lap 25, the gap is 1.9 seconds, and we are definitely closing in on the Aston Martin.
Chat, can we do this? We're 1.8 now. We're slowly gaining on him.
So, end of lap 25. I have asked my chat on Twitch, which yeah, you can be part of if you join the streams. We've asked our chat, can we do this? Can we catch and pass Levy King and pull off a Raikkonen-esque moment from Japan 2005? And I'm going to show you the chat right now from the race. And as you can see here, yeah, we've got Sparks YT15, shout outs to him, and we've got L-Plan 2022, aka Coolest, in the comment section here. And you can see there, they're absolutely rooting for me here, saying that you've got this, and we're going to give it everything. And that is exactly what we're going to do, because we definitely have a chance to win this race.
Alright, chat, we're so much quicker than him in Sector 1.
And gap to the car in front is 1.6 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 12 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:31.0. We're gaining by around 0.2 per lap. Keep going.
So, massive shout outs to the guys in my Twitch chat. You can be a part of it by joining these races live on Twitch at 7 PM on a Monday. But you heard my engineer saying that we're getting by 0.2 a lap, so the advantage isn't as strong as it was before. But as we go through the last corner here, we hit the wall, and that's going to cost us some time, and you can hear my reaction to that. I'm not happy with myself. I haven't done that the entire race.
Of course.
And I pick now to hit the wall, and we've lost another 0.3 of a second, and we go wide at turn 1. But the main thing is here, we are faster than Levy King in Sector 1, so it's a bit like Imola Part 2, where we were gaining time on the car in front in Sector 1. So, that's the assignment. We've understood it. Let's see if we can nail it. As we start the final lap of the race, we are 1.3 seconds behind the Aston Martin of Levy King, and we're going to try and catch him in this first sector, because that's where we are strongest on this racetrack in comparison to him. We've got no ERS left, and apparently neither does he. So we're going to see if we can absolutely nail the first sector, chucking it in these fast corners as we come through, shifting down to 4th gear, touching the curb a little bit on the left hand side, but we just miss out on DRS.
Oh, we've just missed out. We were very close, but I think he might have it here. We will keep him under pressure. We'll keep trying.
So, unfortunately, we were so close to getting the DRS of the Aston Martin. That would have definitely got us a lot closer to him. But we're going to keep pushing on and see if we can force him into a mistake right at the end of the race. But as we go through the Mickey Mouse section, this is why he is so strong compared to us. It's a bit like Imola, but he gets so much better traction through those corners.
Fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty.
And there you go, he pulls another 0.3 out of the section, so fair enough.
As you can hear me say there, he pulls out an extra 0.3 out of that section alone. And fair play, it's a very hard section to get right, but we're not going to quite get it here. His red light is flashing, but he comes through to win the Miami Grand Prix. And for us, it is P2 on the day.
We were close, chap. We're pretty close, but P2 is nothing to frown at all. That was really strong pace at the end.
So, there you go. That was the Miami Grand Prix. we finish P2 here today, and it is another podium to add to our collection, our third of the season and our second in a row, but we just missed out on DRS on that last lap. And in hindsight, if we had a bit more ERS, I think we would have definitely challenged for the win here today. But Levy King absolutely deserves it. Congrats to him. 2 wins in a row, 4 different winners out of 5 races. But Levy King is definitely the man to beat right now in the Drivers' Championship. SLR Quattro, big shouts to him. He finishes 3rd here today, and despite being spun round on the first corner. But for us, it is P2 in the Miami Grand Prix. You can see the final race results. The top 3 were in a class of their own compared to the rest of the field. But P2, with very strong pace on the mediums, we're definitely getting closer and closer to that race win. As you can see, the Drivers' Championship, we are tied on points with Quattro, but we are 27 behind Levy King 16. So we're going to try and cut the gap down in the next race, which is the Spanish Grand Prix. And we're going to see if we can bounce back and finally get that win. But that has been the end of today's video, guys. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more league racing content, and I'll see you guys in the Spanish Grand Prix, where we're going to try and break the wind duck. So until then, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.